What advice would you give to your 21-year-old self? That guy who didn't know what he wanted to do, what would you say to that guy?
I think, it's probably that most people don't actually know what they're doing. And most people in most industries are bluffing. They're nervous.
Yeah, that's
don't
true.
fully understand. They're not as confident as they think they are. You won't realize that, 21-year-old, until you're about 35, by which time you've missed maybe the chance to do stuff as well. So people aren't as confident as you think they are. They're bluffing, and they're just as nervous and worried as you. And I've got older and older and got more and more senior in places, and I see and I realize people are still bluffing, and they're still faking, and they're still pretending, and they still don't know what they're doing. And they're still relying on other people to figure things out, and they still hope someone else is in charge above them to fix everything. So if you can find a niche where you are really confident in what you do, like I tried to do with this social media research, you should be confident. You will know more than the person above you, and they will quickly realize that, and they'll come to depend on you. Like when I used to go, it was very hard to get into this industry, and basically all I tried to do was get a little opportunity and then make myself indispensable to the person above me by learning something, knowing something, making them need me. So they couldn't fire me, they couldn't get rid of me. And so there's that. And it's also that don't worry if at 21 you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're planning. Don't think I've got to figure it out by 23 or by 25 and tie yourself down. Because I didn't really know what I wanted to do until I was 35. I was still fishing around, trying to figure it out. Finally, like I said, finding my thing by probably 32, 33, finally figuring out the thing I could do that I really enjoyed and that I was good at. And I was freaking out at 25. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know. I should have, I can't enjoy myself. I can't relax. I can't go and maybe travel somewhere because I've got to get on the career ladder, and I feel like I missed things that I should have done. So don't panic, because if you're 21 now, you're probably going to live to about 140, by which time the retirement age is going to be 110. So don't freak out that you've got to figure it out by 30.
Isn't it hilarious when you're like, I look back when I was 18 or 21 and I thought like 25 or 30 was old. Now I'm 42. I'm like, bloody hell, if I was old then, I'm ancient now.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is? I felt old at 27. I think I felt older at 27 in some ways than I do now. Because I felt like, oh my God, I've got to do this. I've got to have that done. I've got to... So it sounded old when I was 18. And then when I got there, I thought I was old. I thought I was so old. Oh my God.
Past it.
Already. And it's only when you're a bit older you realise, why are you worried? You've got time to figure it out. Don't worry about it.
What advice would you give to your 21-year-old self?
So really importantly, it's not to constrain yourself by what you know today. It's to be open to what you could do tomorrow. And honestly, that held me back for half of my career. I didn't realize it. I wasn't unhappy, but I think so many of us, and particularly women that I know, we think we can only do what we know we can do. And it was by having great mentors who said to me, Lisa, I want you to go and do this. I want you to go and lead the acquisition of a business. And I'm thinking, but I've never done that before. But actually what you realize, and we're particularly lucky in companies like KPMG, is we've got all of the expertise. So you can do anything if you have the people around you to support and help. And for me, that's the biggest learning. And I say it to my daughters, regularly. Don't worry. If you don't know how to do something, work out how you're going to learn to do it.
So my 21-year-old self, I would tell that person to buy stock in Apple and Google. Buy as much stock in Apple and Google
and Nvidia
Facebook.
as well, by the way.
Well, Nvidia's relatively late. Video's relatively late into the game, but yeah, Apple, Google, and various other companies would have. Well, I probably wouldn't be having this podcast. I'll be retired on an island somewhere. It's like I'd have told people to invest in cryptocurrency back then.
Yeah. Are you a Bitcoin guy?
No, not really.
Really? Oh, I am.
Too late.
I love it.
Too late to the party.
Late? Really? I think it's still early days, isn't it?
I saw it
mean,
scam back then. And to be fair, I mean, yeah, there was someone I used to know who was always going on about, like I was going on about running a lot, who was always going on about how much cryptocurrency he had. And a friend of mine went, how much did he have? Because he's disappeared completely. And we kind of like went, my God, if he's still got 3/4 of that, there's a reason why he doesn't talk to us anymore.
That's why he doesn't bother with us anymore.
I think he's got different friends in a different category.
Yeah.
So I'd say that, I mean, but if I was talking to a 21-year-old right now, I would say, look at some of the, what look to be obsolete technologies.
Yeah.
And get interested in them. Go and have a look at some of the things like AS400s and don't specialize completely, but have a working knowledge, because that, when you get the technology and everyone's in cloud at the moment, and there's a lot of money in cloud, but there's also a lot of people in cloud. You take something AS400, there's a lot of money in AS400, and there's going to be even more money in AS400, and there's not many people in there. So if you can get into certain technologies, certain niche technologies, and remember, you're not going to be able to make your career on something like AS400. Other legacy technologies are available, but you will be able to identify like the sets of legacy technologies which companies will still depend upon. That's the point. Work out which ones people depend upon and say, actually, I'm still going to do my cool cloud stuff because that's going to be, I want to have that. But I'm also going to pick a couple of legacy ones, and I'm going to have more than a working knowledge. And you'll then become indispensable. If you can become the security person who can look at that technology, you'll suddenly discover if you're a pen tester, well, people will have regulatory reasons to have to do that. And the only person they can call is you.
Yeah, sure. Well, there you go, kids. Learn COBOL, yeah? Learn about mainframes. But I think that's brilliant advice.
You can pick them up on eBay.
Yeah. And I'm sure COBOL is probably not. I don't know. I don't want to offend any coders. I don't know. Is COBOL hard to pick up? I'm not even sure. But yeah, no, it's really good advice, Quentin. I think it was Elon Musk or someone said on a podcast before that half the world's banking system is held up by mainframes and COBOL code, and it's probably true. It's all legacy tech, and no one wants, no CTO
with an
wants to touch
increasingly
it.
smaller portion of people who are able to maintain it.
Exactly.
So be one of those people.
Yeah, if you can keep the legacy code going for them, then these people want to retire. We need a new generation of AS400 experts. But yeah, no, that's really interesting. I love that.